Good evening, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to the Daily Wrap for what was Sunday, the 26th of October, 2025, the first of my final week of streaming of the month. So, we're heading into high gear here, switching it up and getting into the big festivities for Halloween. Let's talk about everything that went down today because it was quite a fun and eventful day. So, first off, today on the Level 1 podcast, I talked about my 2 days off that I had just come back from. Got everyone caught up on the status of current playthroughs, and talked about how Wings of Redemption will be appearing on this very show tomorrow, giving the full details. And I talked a little bit about the questions and things that to ask him and stuff. It was a good podcast covering those topics that were pretty interesting. So if you didn't see it, you probably want to give it a look. All right. Then, after that podcast ended, we jumped right back into Hollow Knight Silksong. Now, we are getting to the hardest parts of the game. Today, we actually completed the hardest platforming segment of Silksong. It is ridiculously difficult. It is just so crazy hard to do this platforming, and pretty insane, that, to be honest and frank, this is something that, like, most games don't dare to do. It was so intricate that the checkpoints were so rare and scarce. It took me an hour. But we got it done. My thumb was throbbing. As you can see, look, my callus got even worse. You can see it on my thumb there. But we got it done. Then we actually headed into one of the 3 endgame dungeon areas and did the entire Coral Towers dungeon and then took on the boss. Completed that. And then at the very end of the stream, got the final needle upgrade. So now we will be at maximum power and capacity for the, continuing parts of Act 3. So, great progress there, and guess what? Support was great. We hit and exceeded a goal. We're up to 6 out of 10 now goals hit after that first stream. Then, on the late stream, it was Tormented Souls 2 now as a late night stream. This had been suggested by a particular viewer who said, your survival horror playthroughs do well late at night. Take a look at Chronos, take a look at Silent Hill F. I think this would do better, and I can show up particularly at night. I would prefer if you did that. So I thought it over and I said, yeah, let's do that. Let's give Tormented Souls 2 a chance as a late night stream and see how it does. I'm pleased to inform everyone it did well. Like, no exaggeration, it did much better than it actually did on Friday. We had pretty much just as many viewers, but the people stuck around. As opposed to on Friday, people started watching, got bored, and left. Here, they stuck around. We had consistent viewership. Support started off actually decent, then got strong. We ended up hitting a goal. And by the end of the stream, we actually had a rallying, and we had 2 goals. Seriously, we hit 2 goals tonight for Tormented Souls 2. Now, this is not something that I'm expecting. I'm not thinking we're going to be hitting 2 goals every night. But it was pretty awesome. Tonight, we actually completed a bunch of tough puzzles. We had to go into an other world side. Think like how they do it in Silent Hill. Well, pretty much this game does exactly the same. Had an epic boss fight that was pretty challenging. And we got to a whole new segment of the game where we've now left the convent. I don't want to spoil, but we're in a whole new area of the game. That's kind of neat. So it was great progress. It was great fun. People enjoyed. I enjoyed. Everyone had a great time. All good. So 3 goals hit today. We're now up to 8 out of 10. Let's talk about tomorrow, because tomorrow is a huge day. First off, tomorrow is a very special edition of the Level 1 podcast. Wings of Redemption will be joining us as a guest. Here's how it's going to go down. The show will start at 11:15. I should say the stream will start at 11:15. The show will begin around 11:30. I will hang out with you guys for around half an hour. We'll do some build-up, some hype. I'll field some questions, things people might want me to talk about with Jordy. And then around noon, we're going to get him on the show. The good news is I've already tested my stuff. Everything seems to be working fine with Discord and with OBS. All the stuff's already set up and ready to go. I didn't change anything since back, months ago. So it should be an easy transition to get him onto the show. And so starting around noon, he'll join. Now, if it goes really crappy and it's boring and we're just not really jiving, then we'll probably cut it short and do like a half an hour. If it ends up going well and we have topics to talk about and we're, playing well off of each other and everything, and the conversation goes well and it's entertaining, then we'll probably go upwards of 1 to 2 hours. It really depends on what he wants to do. I'm not going to keep him longer than he wants to stay, but I'm also not going to throw him off the show. I'm interested to see how this is going to go. This is years and years in the making, where people have wanted me to interact with this guy, and I think that we have a lot to talk about. I really do. Like, just being on YouTube for so long, being through similar circumstances, although our content certainly isn't the same, I think a lot of those things that we've gone through is the same, or at least similar. And maybe we could actually talk to each other about our opinions about each other and stuff like that. Okay? So, it should be a great time. Now, here's what's going to happen. When he appears at noonish, no pop-ups, no leaderboard, no interruptions. Instead, it's just me and him. We give him our undivided attention because he deserves it. I'm not even going to be looking at stream chat at all. All right? Then, after the conversation is done and he takes off, then what we will do is do a decompression session. Hang out for about an hour, hour and a half, talk to each other. Then I will actually field comments. I will do shout outs for contributions. Okay. And, we'll see what people thought. Any feedback, any things you liked, any things you didn't like. Any suggestions for improvement, any suggestions for the future. What were your opinions on what just went down? Do you have supplementary information to give me about things we talked about? Okay. Should be interesting, to say the least. It should be a fun time, and I'm curious to see how it goes. I don't know how it's going to go. I hope it goes well. I hope it's entertaining for everybody, quite honestly. I guess we'll find out, okay? So, yeah, that's tomorrow's show. Now, I got asked tonight, well, Phil, what if you hit 2 support goals? Will you do DSP tries on that stream? And I'm like, I'm not even going to be talking to the audience from like 12 noon until when Jordy leaves. I don't think I'm hitting 2 goals. Like, I get support when I'm talking and interacting with the audience, right? In this case, I legitimately find it hard to believe that I'm actually going to get a ton of support for this show. And for the record, I've already said this earlier today. I'll say it again. I offered Jordy half of the profits for the show. I said, dude, I'll split it down the middle with you since you're appearing. And he said, no, I don't want that. He told me it's completely okay. He's not looking for anything like that. No monetary compensation for the show. And I was like, whoa, well, that's up to you. I made the offer and he said no. So FYI, I'll be doing all the shout outs and everything after he leaves. And we'll see how it goes. If we do happen to hit 2 support goals, yeah, it's DSP tries at Domino's Pizza. But I don't realistically see that happening. I think maybe at most I'll get 1 goal. But I don't know. We'll see. All right. So that's the first stream tomorrow. Then tomorrow night on the late stream, it is our weekly American Truck Simulator chill stream, which what a great day for it. Because I'll be driving the truck, having a few brews, talking with you guys. And I'm sure a lot of people will be watching the interview after the fact. And maybe then we'll have stuff to talk about then. So it should be a great day. No real significant challenging gameplay. That's okay. Today was pretty tough with Silksong and then Tormented Souls 2. I get a break tomorrow, and it should be a good day. All right, everyone? Thank you. I hope that you guys are excited like I am. I think it's going to be a special one, a special day, and hopefully it goes well, and you guys will join me, and we all have a good time. All right? All right, folks. Thank you so very much. Have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow for a fun show. Everyone have a good night. Peace out.